Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rachel. It's Colleen. I am taking a look at your draft and taking a look at it. There's a few things. The page numbers are still in Calibri or Calibri or whatever it's called. So these need to be fixed. They need to be in Times New Roman. A few other things would be that when you give the page number in a parenthetical citation, it's just P period, not PG. Going down to your references page, all you really needed to do was give Friedman, but the fact that you found the other two articles as primary sources, I think is great. One thing you do need to do is, because you don't have the paper copy of each one of those journals, you have to show where you got them. So either online, like through the database. This one, I know for sure that Friedman's has a DOI. It always wants to automatically capitalize that. So you need to put in the DOI number on there. So it's just DOI colon, no space, and then put the number. It's actually on the last page of the article, so that needs to go in there. I've already fixed this for you. Let me go back and show you how it should have how it looked before I fixed it. When you turned in your paper, your reference page, oh, hold on. Sorry, I've been working on your paper a little bit and I still, let's see. Okay, this should be right now. Grr. Okay, well, your reference page, there we go, looked like this when you turned it in. And the problem with this is that you're supposed to have a hanging indent, which means that the first line of every entry is aligned to the left and every subsequent line in the entry is indented one tab. It's very easy to fix. You just highlight it, go to paragraph, indentation, hanging, hit OK, and it's fixed. And they need to be alphabetized, so they need to be in alphabetical order. Okay, a few other things about your paper, just like some little things before I get into more specific things. Here we go. Don't use firstly unless you're going to use secondly. Your introductory paragraph needs to state what journal it's from, the article is from. Also, you say that she successfully argued her point. That's okay. I mean, I would have liked something a little stronger than that, but you need to say how. You need to say through her rhetorical strategies or through her use of writing techniques or something like that, because that's the all-encompassing thesis statement that I was asking for. If you go to Unit 1, Page 1, Tips for Writing Paper 1, the template for that thesis statement is there, and you can take a look at it. Going over your paper, you need to work on your concise writing. Again, that's also on the Sakai site. Under APA and then a concise and precise writing. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have sentences in there that start to become a little redundant or just really aren't necessary, such as here under claim of policy. Then you go step by step. She addresses the issues. This one, especially whether it is good or bad, this needs to come out. It's too casual. For your introductory paragraph, this sentence can come out. You can talk about that when it actually happens in your paper. The other thing is you need to make sure that you're always focusing on the audience, that it's not your commentary on what's happening. So here you say, in order that Friedman is successful in all these areas, etc., etc. Friedman's process. Now, I'm not sure what you mean by process. This probably should be called problem or establishing the problem or something like that, because that's what she's doing first. It has to be the problem and then the solution. You have she establishes the fact, etc., etc., etc. Then you say it has been noted that people are more likely to give something when there is compensation. It has been noted where? Are you saying that Friedman has said it was noted, or are you saying that it's noted? Because if you're going to say Friedman said it, then you need to say Friedman said it. If it's you saying that it has been noted somewhere, one, where it has been noted, I would be asking. But two, you don't put anything like that in this paper, because it all has to be, what is Friedman saying? How does it affect her audience? So anything that has to do with your commentary has to come out. You say her first two paragraphs tell the reader that there needs to be more organs because the demand is greater than supply. Give me a quote and support that. Friedman then explains to the audience that donors do not reap the same benefits as recipients do. She then tells the audience that because of the shortage of donations throughout the world, the donors are being exploited for their kind gesture of helping another person. You're saying she's saying all these things. All this really is a summary, and what it needs to be is an analysis. So you need to go a step deeper. One, you need to support everything you're saying. Show me, give me a quote or something. And then it needs to be, how do these things, and the way, not just what she presents, but how she presents them. How does it affect her audience? How does it help persuade them? If you look at Unit 1, Paper 1, the grade sheet for Paper 1, there's a section on there that says, it shows you what I'm going to be looking for in all of your paragraphs, where it says, how is this an example of the element you're discussing? How and why does Friedman use it? How does it affect her audience? How does this help persuade her audience or help her accomplish her purpose? I can't remember exactly how it's worded. All of those things need to be answered in every one of your paragraphs. And those last few things on there is, how does it affect our audience? How does it help persuade them? Is not showing up in your paper. And don't feel bad, because honestly, probably 75 to 80% of the papers that I have been looking at, and I've done this type of paper for a long time, and it's always been those last few things that people tend to leave out of their paper. So that's very typical of a first draft. So make sure you get those back in there. Word choice this paragraph doesn't really seem to belong under claim of policy. Claim of policy needs to focus strictly on how she convinces her audience that a problem exists, and then how she convinces her audience that her solution will work. So you need to have a section here about her solution and how she convinces them of that. Okay, moving on to logos. Friedman shows a great deal of logos throughout the article. Not only does she give credible source, shows or creates a chart. Okay, this is a little long. Try to make this intro for logos a little more concise. Inductive reasoning. Kind of just looking through it. Okay, again, it's more of a summary of what she's doing. Make sure it's an analysis. Add, how does it affect the audience? How does it help persuade them? Same for the deductive reasoning. Ethos. You say Friedman is an associate professor. She obtains the proper qualifications of speaking about organ donations. She obtains the proper qualifications. This doesn't make sense to me. That is not, she would obtain the qualifications by getting her education and her experience in the field. She presents her proper qualifications, possibly. Not only is she a professor of surgery, by reading her credentials, one would see, not one would see, you want to say her audience, be specific, because it's not anybody, we're looking at her specific audience and who are they. And accurate with the information that she puts forth in the article. At the very end of the article, one sees in small font that she, okay. So again, I'm going to say directly quote the article. What you need to do is say that she presents her credentials. You need to be more specific. Take a step by step and be a little more clinical with this. Friedman establishes herself as an expert because of giving us her credentials, etc. I think part of the problem is that these intro paragraphs that you're giving for each of these sections are too long, and you're giving too much specific information. These little intro paragraphs should be just enough to tell us that Friedman uses ethos to establish trust and present herself as an expert, etc. This is where then in here you're going to give us more specifics. And you can't have a level 2 heading unless there's more than one level 2 heading. So really what you need to do is you need to have 2 level 2 headings in here, one being as expert or something, expertise, credentials, something, and then the second one would be honesty. Be specific. Where does she present those credentials? Why are they presented where they are? How do they directly affect her audience? What do her audience think of her credentials? How does it help persuade them? All of these specific things are what are missing. And those would be the basic same comments I'm going to give you throughout this paper, because that's sort of your repeated issue. Once you add in all the specific things in that deeper analysis, you're going to definitely not only get to the bottom of this 5th page here, but you'll be spilling over onto another page, which is great. There is no limit for how many pages you can have, just how few. So those are my comments. If you have questions,